And here on Morning in America, we love to hear from our viewers. Some of you have some very urgent questions about issues like these. Right now, let's welcome one of our NewsNation viewers in Florida, Scott Davies. Scott, I know you watched one of our other segments on student financial aid. You wrote to us about it, so let's take a look. Richard, you had another question for American families like yours. Go ahead and ask that.
Well, you know, what can the colleges do, if anything, to control these costs? I know when I was in college in the 70s, I was paying anywhere from $14 to $18 a credit hour at Michigan State University. And now it's gone up to, if you're a freshman, it's $491 a credit hour. And now if you're a junior or senior, it's $566 plus added fees. How can somebody...
I can answer this one. Mark, it's called inflation because it's not the 70s anymore. Scott, you previously worked as a college professor, and you wanted to point out that college costs are not up just because of inflation. So let's bring in economist Lindsey Piegza to help break this down. Good morning to you, Lindsey.
Good morning.
Okay, so Scott, your question about the rising costs and inflation, why don't you get to that first?
Okay, well, it seems to me that given that education is primarily driven by the employment of the professors and staff, it's mainly wage driven, and wages have been stagnant for so long. How can we blame this on inflation?
Lindsey?
Aren't there a lot of other contributing factors?
I think first off, we do have to recognize that inflation does impact different sectors of the economy differently, as factors of supply and demand impact sectors and products very differently. So a simple example, if we see unfavorable weather across Central America, that could drive up coffee prices 200%. But back at home in the Midwest, if we see exceptional growing conditions, we could see corn prices actually drop by 10%. So first off, we do have that differentiation in terms of how inflation impacts different sectors. But as far as tuition costs, I would say there's several factors that are driving higher tuition costs. First, I would point to government policies. As the government raises limits, particularly on undergraduate loans, the cost of tuition rises. In good part, institutions wouldn't be able to charge more or charge what they do if students didn't have access to more and more federal loan and funding opportunities. The second issue is really what's being provided at universities or how it's being provided. Universities have made substantial investments in technology and also social spaces. And the third issue, coming back to your point, excuse me, is rising labor costs. As the price continues to rise for workers require additional compensation to offset that loss of purchasing power in the market as we continue to see inflation take hold. And universities often have hundreds on staff, in some cases maybe more. So the cost of keeping a university running is on the rise, and all of these factors are driving up costs that then get passed on to the student in the form of higher and higher and higher tuition bills.
Scott, you had another question about rising tuition?
Well, yes, I did. Because who should ultimately be responsible for this has been a question that I think a lot of us have, because most of us would not have sought out the education that we did unless there was someone that was going to hire us to do that work. And the businesses that hire us, I mean, my undergraduate education was paid for by Rockwell International, where I was a steel worker, and they paid for me to get a degree in psychology before I got my graduate degree. And they saw that as a good thing for the workers, right? And I was able to do that and then proceed. Those same businesses are the ones that are driving up the costs of, say, professors, right? A business professor can decide to go to work for a corporation and make a lot more money than they can as a professor. So then it drives up the costs for the college to hire that same professor. So it seems like that businesses have a lot to do with, corporations have a lot to do with the costs of education, and they're ultimately the ones who make money off of us having an education, right? I don't know that we would have pursued the educations that we have if there was not someone out there who was going to hire us and pay us to do whatever it was we taught. So perhaps they should have a bigger role in paying for it.
It's a good question. It's essentially, where else can we get the money from to fund university attendance? And again, it's a good question, but I think before we talk about funding the current system, I would argue that we need to take a look at our current system and maybe address the uncomfortable fact that not everyone benefits from a 4-year liberal arts degree. Many potential workers would arguably be better off earning, let's say, a 2-year associate's degree, coming out of school ready to fulfill one of the 11 million job vacancies that we currently see in the economy, and facing little or no student loan debt. So that's one area that I think we do need to focus on when we talk about the university system becoming unsustainable. But back to your question, unless we're proposing more public sector dollars, I don't see any way to reduce or even offset the cost of tuition unless demand is impacted, either by students finding alternatives, again, such as an associate's degree, as I mentioned, or universities themselves simply reaching a tipping point where they begin to price students out of the market.
Lindsey, Scott, thank you so much for being here for this conversation. We appreciate you. We appreciate you watching us, Scott. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too, and you can send us your questions at newsnationnow.com/feedback, newsnationnow.com/feedback, or download the NewsNation app, and we'll answer your questions live on the show. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.